So thank you everyone for joining us. So today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, a very challenging one, the promotion, like managing promotion campaigns, the efficiency of the promotion forecast, how to be able to deal with that, and so on. So the topic of our webinar is making every trade promotion efficient in the era of AI. Before we go to the topic itself, I just wanted to introduce ourselves. Today, the hosts of the webinars are Helen Kom. She is the product director of the LEAFIO AI inventory optimization solution. Hi, Helen.
Hi, thank you very much for having me here.
And me, my name is Anna. I'm head of business development at LEAFIO, and I'm responsible for communication with the customers, with the existing customers and potential customers. So thank you everyone for joining us. Me and Helen will be together with you today. Before we go to the covering and talking about the promotion efficiency, I just wanted to provide a couple of words, to share a couple of words about who we are, what we do, and what our company is about. So as a LEAFIO, we are specializing in working with the retail business. For many, many years, we have a very good expertise in that. And what we do in a nutshell is we help retailers to organize, automate, and manage their different processes in the supply chain areas. So regarding a couple of words regarding platform in general, so LEAFIO is a platform that combines several modules. The first one, and actually the first two we are going to focus on today, is first of all, it's the inventory optimization block, and it is the part that allows to automate the replenishment process at all the levels of the supply chain, and be able to make very precise order to allow the retailers to achieve from one side their maximum service level, maximum availability, and from the other side not to spend more money on investing into the stock. The other part is its shelf efficiency block. This is the solution that is intended to cover the end-to-end merchandising process. So to create the macro spacing, to create the store-specific planogram, to communicate the planogram to the level of the store for the execution with the help of the mobile application, and return it back to the central office. And of course, ongoingly analyze the efficiency of what is placed on the shelf. Together with the inventory, and that's actually what we are focusing today on, is a promotion intelligence block. In our case of the LEAFIO platform, it runs as a part of the inventory optimization, because without the proper automation in the inventory optimization, it would be almost impossible to automate their promotion processes. So this is the block that makes the promotional forecasting and helps to manage promotion campaigns in general from the side of the replenishment. And the last but not the least, it's our brand new solution, Assortment Performance. So this is the one that is intended to help category managers to create the assortment matrices, to analyze their category, to be able to make automatic clusterization of the stores by the formats, and to analyze each and every product inside their category to make sure it's efficient and it is bringing out revenue or profit. Okay, so today, coming back to the agenda of today's webinar, what we're going to discuss today is first of all the main tasks for the inventory management part and solution during the running the promotion activities. Secondly, it's promotional forecasting, how to build the efficient process using this promotional forecasting, how to choose the right model that will work for us, how to build and check some hypotheses, and how to choose and add forecasting factors to the model. Afterwards, of course, after the promo campaign finished, it's very important to make the evaluation of the promo campaign to be able to make some some summary, some conclusions for the future promotion campaign. So we're going to talk about the evaluation, and of course, and like we're going to share, like we've been in that like for several years recently, and we have a lot of experience. We have done a lot in this sphere, so we are going to share some like lessons to learn regarding managing and building promotion campaigns. So what's important to mention here is that today we're going to share like our experience in doing that, and of course it's like today we're going to talk about some general things. If you're interested in this topic in particular, we will be glad to arrange additional like demos for you and to our like meetings to talk about that like more specifics. So let's before we go like to the discussion of like how to make it efficient, I would like just to highlight what's the problem in promo, like what's the dilemma with the promo, why it is so hard for everyone, and but from the other side, why it's so like important for everyone. So what we're seeing, like we're working with the retailers recently, that the percentage of the promotion campaign increases year from year, and not only like in the grocery retailer business, but also like in different spheres. So in order to like increase the loyalty, in order like to keep the customer like coming to our stores, like we need to like be in trend, and we need to suggest some promotion activities. So that's why promotion is like a necessary evil for every retail business, so to be able to be like on the level with the other retailers, because like everyone is doing that, and that means that like we cannot be the one who doesn't do that. Everyone like who faced somehow like with the promotion knows that it's very like exhausting process. It takes a lot of resources, and moreover it during like planning the promotion campaign, a lot of departments from the company is like involved in that. So how the promotion how the promotion is structured, how it is built. So first of all, like the process looks as follows. First of all, we need to plan the promotion campaigns. After that, to prepare for it. After that, of course, like to ensure the execution, and to make sure that we are doing the like analysis of the promotion campaign and to exit promotion campaign. So the first stage is like very critical and the most like exhausting one. So because it includes like first of all to select the supplier. Sometimes it is initiated by the supplier, to choose the promotion mechanics. What's like the most like difficult here, the most difficult part is to make the promotional forecasting, so to understand like what increase in sales we're gonna have, and it is like very hard to do when like there are like hundreds or thousand SKUs that are like running in the promotion campaign. Afterwards, negotiate these conditions with the suppliers, approve with them, and after that we can start the promotion campaign itself. Can we go? Yeah, thank you very much. So what's like the difficulty, like before that we are talking about like some general things, but if you talk about the area we are experts in and we are focusing on, like the replenishment side, like what are the difficulties here is, first of all, the promotional forecast, it requires like high accuracy. The sales can increase like 3, 10, 50 times, and that's why like it's very important to make the like rather precise and good forecasting, because like out of stocks there, it's like very critical for the promotion campaigns, especially in the beginning. And so like there are two main pains of managing promotion campaign from the side of the replenishment. So first of all, it's making the forecast to make sure that we have the highest availability level in the beginning of the promotion campaign and during promotion campaign. And the other pain is that we are not going to the overstocks in the end of the promotion campaign. Okay, so what is as I mentioned, it's like the main task for us, and from what we see, it's like the most like one of the most complicated things to do, because like no one knows like what the increase is going to be like in sales during the upcoming promotion campaign. And sometimes we need like to prepare before the promotion campaign, for example, for some huge promotion periods like the Christmas time. There are like several promotion campaigns that are running. We need to prepare our like human resources for that. We need to prepare our stores for that, to make additional displays and so on. But of course, the main thing is to like ensure the like very good and very precise stock level during the promo. What is like if you're talking about the promo, like what are the actions that need to be taken for like running the promotion campaign? So first of all, we need to calculate and to forecast the accurate like uplift in sales to be able to make this like initial order and keep the demand during the promotion campaign, and to plan the promotional like display size. For example, like there can be some like I don't know, some additional display of some champagne in the store and so on. Secondly, we need to identify and know like when to make the purchase order, because like there are like different lead times, there are different suppliers with different schedules, and some of the goods, they're coming like directly to from the suppliers to the store, and some of them they are received to the central warehouse, and afterwards they need to be delivered to the stores as well. So it makes this like even more complicated, and we need to make it like some time before the promo. The other thing is how to like before the promotion starts, we need to give some time to our store managers, like store personnel, store employees, to make the merchandising layouts, to change the price tags, to make some promotional like signs and so on. And after like in parallel, we need to make sure that we are fulfilling the store, so that like when the promo starts and like before the promo starts, they should have already like these goods like available in the stores. Of course, like when the promotion finishes, it's like a typical pain for the retailers that there are a lot of like overstocks, there are a lot of like money frozen in the overstocks. And of course, when promotion finishes, the price goes down, goes like to the regular one, goes up, like no one is gonna like buy it. There's like no advertising and so on. So it will be hard to get rid of these like overstocks. And summarizing like all of that, of course, it's crucial to make the ongoing analysis of each and every promotion campaign after it's finished, and to like make some lesson learned for improving this in future. So I'm giving the word right now to Helen. She's gonna talk about like the most interesting part, like the forecasting itself, how to make it our experience. And we hope that this part will be like useful for you, and you can take something for like your planning promotion activities.
Thank you very much, Anna. So yes, now we are going to talk about the forecasting and some useful hints that can be relevant in case you are planning, or you are starting, or you are just in the middle of this process from our experience. So regarding the flow of working with such kind of promotional activities forecasting, the sales uplifts forecasting, we can divide it into 3 steps. The first step is the data preparation. So I think that everyone knows that the trash data in, trash forecast out, and it is crucially important to make the data preparation at the very beginning, in the initial stage of the making these activities with the forecasting and especially forecasting of the promotional sales. So on this step, from our experience, it is important to get rid of the out of stocks and out of shelf days. So yeah, we are dividing the out of stocks where we have zero balance, and we identify automatically the out of shelf days when we assume that we have the positive quantity on hand, but the sales are not so relevant. That's why probably we have some issues with the layout on the shelves. We also get rid from the spikes in demand, and it is important to clear and divide the historical sales into the promotional and regular sales to have like the basement for these calculations on the appropriate data. The second step is identifying the factors that can influence the promotional demand, especially comparing with the non-promotional regular demand. And for each and every retail sector industry, these factors can be different, and even in terms of the same industry, depending on the region, for example, these factors can differ as well. And afterwards, when we are identifying the list of these factors that are like the hypothesis for us, we are starting the process of checking. It is called the cross-validation process. When we are training the model on the data set, afterwards, we are making the validation. So basically, we are training on the data. Afterwards, we're feeding the model with the data that is not known to the model. And afterwards, we are like trying to understand the efficiency and probably make some changes in the model, in the number of factors, in the weight of these factors, and so on. And afterwards, we are making the train validation test that helps us to understand the general forecast and accuracy and efficiency of the forecast. So if talking about the different types of models that can be used for this specific task, there can be like the very huge variety of these models. It is like the general examples of models that can be used for the promotional forecasting. So among them, you can see time series forecasting models with linear dependencies, with recursive dependencies, and even the decision tree models that are most commonly used for precise and efficient promotional forecasting actions. And in some cases, there can be a couple of models that are used while identifying the best one for each specific case. Several years ago, we were analyzing the results of so-called M competitions. M competitions are a series of open competitions to evaluate and compare the accuracy of different forecasting methods, and data scientists all over the world, they are trying to compete in this competition and to win some prizes. They have started the competition in 1982, and basically the competition is focused on different forecasting tasks depending on the data set that is relevant for this specific competition. So in 2012, there was a so-called M5 competition where the task was to forecast sales for Walmart, who generously made available their data set. And the first prize went to the data scientist team who was using a couple of different models, but the most commonly used model was LightGBM. And just now lately, due to our experience as well, we are using LightGBM model for like the biggest variety of cases while we are making the promotional forecasting for our customers. Regarding some useful hints in this process, when we are trying to evaluate the best possible model, which need to be used in some specific cases, we need to clearly understand the aim of the forecast, because depending on the aim, different models can be more or less accurate because of their specifics. So, of course, we need to understand whether we are trying to forecast the fulfillment of the stores during the promotional campaign, or the fulfillment of the distributional center, or we are like trying to make some financial planning, and depending on this, different models can be more accurate than another ones. So if we are forecasting different categories with different factors that are influencing the forecast, we can see that there are some dependencies with the weight of different factors in terms of different categories. And here is like an example how this weight can be identified, and while we are identifying it for our customers, while we are doing the forecasting for them. Also, it is important to understand the general aim, and based on this, we need to identify whether we are making the top-down or down-up forecasting approach. So whether we are trying to make the precise forecast on the SKU location level, and afterwards we are going up to the level of the SKU and up to the level of the category, for example. And usually we are making such approach when we are forecasting the fulfillment of the stores. And upside down, when we are making the forecast on the level of the category, and afterwards we are making the down-up approach while we are going to the SKU level and afterwards to the SKU location level. And starting from this approach, probably the main aim here, it can be a little bit different when we are trying to make some forecasting to share them with our vendors and make some financial planning as well. Also, we need to understand if the promotion is going to be done throughout the whole retail chain or for the limited number of stores and formats. We had an interesting example lately with our customer who had 5 different formats of their stores, and some particular SKU was introduced into only one format of the stores, which included, if I'm not mistaken, 15 storage locations. So when it was introduced only to these 15 stores, and the promotional forecasting was done only in terms of these stores, and they had some historical data, our customer decided to introduce this SKU into the other storage locations as well. But there were no historical data for the other stores for this specific SKU. And there are some specific models that can take it into account and make the forecasting taking in mind that the SKU was introduced for the limited time of past only for some specific stores. Also, it is important to understand the fullness of the data set and understand that, for example, some more complicated models, they need more wide range of data, and some more simple models, they can work well, good enough, let's say, with the limited quantity of the data. So it depends on the range, the wideness of the range of the data set. And of course, the promotional mechanics. So when we are talking about the percentage of the discount, it is the one type of models can be used where the price factor is one of the most important one. And when we are talking about 1+1, 2+1, or other more complicated mechanics, this factor is important, but some other factors can be more important, and it will depend on the efficiency of the model. So this must be taken in mind as well. So if talking about the data that is needed to make the forecasting, of course, for once more time, it depends on your aim. But when we're talking about the forecasting of the uplifts, when we are talking about the forecasting of the sales during the promotional campaigns, usually we need this type of the data when we take the data of the historical data for the names of the promotional campaigns, the promotional type, promotional mechanics, the duration of the promotional campaign, which is crucially important, the promotional advertising, of course, the list of the SKUs that were or are going to be in the upcoming promotional campaign, the price, of course, and the calculated percentage of the discount, the storage location, some additional layout. By the way, the additional layout or additional displays can influence a lot the forecasted sales, because if you're increasing the presence of this SKU in terms of the storage location, it will definitely increase the sales of this SKU. The category hierarchy and the sales during and before the promotional campaign started. about the evaluation and measuring the efficiency of the promotional campaigns, it is like an important point how to understand whether this promotional campaign was effective, whether it met the aim for which all these efforts were made during the preparation stage, during the evaluation stage, and everything else. So we need to clearly understand if everything was okay. So from the point of view of the forecast and accuracy, it can be done on different levels of the retail business. So it is I assume it is the most commonly asked question. What is your forecasting accuracy? What is the level of your forecasting accuracy? And usually it is a very complicated question for us because it can be measured with different indicators. It can be measured on different levels. So for example, if we are measuring the forecasting accuracy on the SKU location level, of course, it will be much less than the forecasting accuracy on the enterprise level, for example, because we are aggregating the data. So depending on the aim of the forecast, we need to identify on which level we will make the measurement of the forecasting accuracy. If we're talking about the task of the fulfillment of stores during the promotional campaign and at the beginning of the promotional campaign, usually we are measuring it on the SKU location level because it is crucially important for us to understand whether we were efficient enough to cover the uplift of the demand during this very interesting and unstable periods of time. Regarding the metrics, there is a wide variety of the metrics that can be used to understand the efficiency and the accuracy of the promotion of the forecasting overall, but in forecasting accuracy in terms of the promotional campaigns as well. So there are just an examples of such kind of metrics that can be used. Usually when we are measuring the accuracy of the forecast on the level of the SKU location for the upcoming promotional campaigns, we are using WMAP weighted MAP indicator because the price is taken into account in this perspective. And under forecasting of sales for some very cheap SKU and at the same time under forecasting the SKU with the very high price, with expensive price, it is like different influence on the overall specifics of sales. And a lot of companies, for example, in the M competition I was mentioning previously, they have their specific and other metrics that was used to calculate the forecasting accuracy. But what is more important for us, it is to understand and to measure the financial metrics and outcomes after the promotional campaign ended. Even if you have 100% accurate forecast, you can have some another issues that can be connected with the suppliers, logistics, with the on-store operations and etc. that can decrease the overall efficiency of the promotional campaign, that can lead to the lost sales during the promotional campaign, which is just very bad situation for any retailer, I assume. So we are more focused with our customers. We are not more focused to understand these specific indicators. We are understanding the actual sales difference between the forecasted sales. We compare them between each other, the post-promotional overstocks, the post-promotional inventory turnover, and the percentage of the availability. And I'm giving the words to Anna to talk about one of our great customers who are using our approaches in terms of the forecasting and which outcomes they're getting while using it.
they right now they have around like 90 locations. They have a huge percentage of their assortment in promotion. About 70% of the assortment it is replenished from the distribution center, and they have 4 different promotion types, and they manage in general 30,000 SKUs. So let's take a look how it was gonna how it was happening like on their side. So first of all, as Helen mentioned, like in general it's very important to get the data, and that was like the first step that we did with Novus. So we collected the data. It's very like kind of exhausting process, because like to be able for the model to run, we need like a lot of data. We need like the maximum data. Novus had this data luckily, but still we needed like to prepare that, to like see what's missing there and so on. So as a next part, we made the modeling, and we made some like different kind of models, and after that we like needed to understand what and to choose what was like the most efficient model, and afterwards like to implement this model in this particular case from the reality of this particular retailer. So we did the modeling, and we compared like the models that like the results that we like received with the forecast that was done by the customer, and we choose like the most like relevant, the most efficient model. After that, when like we already like know what model we're gonna use, we go to the pilot. So we do that on the limited assortment, like kind of like to approve what we did, and afterwards, like when we are sure that okay, everything works smoothly, like we made some additional like settings and so on, we are doing the scaling for the like all promotion campaigns in the company. So let's take a look what exactly what specific results were achieved by Novus in this case. So due to the like usage of our methodology, our like promotional block, the availability increased by 2%. And I would like to mention here that even before, I mean, for the promo products, even before that, the availability level of this particular customer, it was already on a high level, and we even managed like to increase that to like almost to the maximum one. So, and the other part that we managed to decrease overstocks 2 times, like overstocks that are happening after the promotion finishes. So we decrease it like 2 times and help the company to release some money for like future development and future activities. So in general, like what kind of business value, what kind of economic effect to expect from this kind of solution is, first of all, it's up to 20% of the improved availability, depending on the company, depending on the retail vertical, and so on, and up to 50% decrease the overstocks and release money for you for like some additional activities, some new stores opening, and so on. What are the other effects of like using the promotion automation tool? It's like less time and resources that is needed for like planning the promotion campaign, and for planning and preparing the promotion campaign and preparing the replenishment itself during the promotion campaign. Secondly, that all the trade promotion history is centralized. It is stored in LEAFIO, and we have like the whole history for like all the promos that were run. And this is critical for the machine learning model, and like the more history we have, the more like the model like it learns on it and improves the forecasting accuracy. So there are like very good results in general like to be expected from this kind of solution and automation of the promotion campaign forecasting.
Regarding the lesson that were learned by us during our experience with working with a lot of customers in terms of the forecasting, of the promotional campaigns in particular. We can divide them into two groups, in forecasting area and in process area, because generally we are making these precise forecastings, calculations, and everything to tackle the task for the most efficient business processes in terms of the general overall promotional business process inside the retail company. So we are focused on the forecasting, of course, it is crucially important, but still we are taking into account and consider all another processes that are touching the promotional campaigns. So in terms of the forecasting, it is impossible to have the accurate forecast without clear understanding the main aim of the forecast. So it was described in details when I was talking about the making the decision on the particular model for making the forecast. It is impossible to calculate the accurate forecast without full and well-prepared data. And from our experience, I can share that we were trying to increase the forecasting accuracy with adding some factors and some more complicated logic, using some more complicated models and etc. But like 2 years ago we understood, or 3 years ago we understood that we can really influence the accuracy of the promotional campaign when we are preparing the data very accurately, and it really improves and have the big influence on the accuracy of the forecast. Some models can have the same forecasting accuracy in the initial stage, but in the strategic perspective, we face and see that machine learning models, they show the better results because they are learning on their own experience. The seasonality is a crucial factor for all the categories, even if it doesn't seem so. And we will talk about it both with the price elasticity, and I will give an example of this. So, and the price elasticity is one of the key factor that influencing the forecast and the forecasting accuracy must be analyzed only considering some other factors. And I have an interesting example from one of our customers. So we were analyzing how the price influenced sales, so the price elasticity. And we saw that for the specific SKU, it is bananas, when the price is going up, the sales are going up as well. It is a very strange situation, and we need to understand like more why it was happening. And we decided to understand the seasonality of bananas, and we can see that in Europe, it is the our customer from Europe. So in Europe, we see that during some periods of the year, especially the summer period and the late spring periods, the sales are decreasing because they are cannibalizing by the sales of another seasonal fruits and vegetables. And when we are adding the curve for the price, we can easily understand that the price goes down when the demand is going down and the price goes up during the seasonal fluctuations. So when we are talking about the forecasting or the price elasticity analysis, we need to take into account the seasonality, for example, for this particular case. But of course, there can be some in other cases that can be relevant for some other product categories. In terms of the processes, so the accuracy of the forecasting is very important and we need to measure it precisely, but the financial outcomes are even more important. It is very important to rely on actual promotional sales rather than on the forecasted sales. So when we are making the forecast in advance for the first order to fulfill the beginning of the promotional campaigns, of course, we will rely on the forecasted sales. But when we already have the actual sales data, we need to rely on this data as well. The forecast is a part, so we must must be integrated into the general promotional planning stage. And as I have mentioned, so when we are making this forecasting, we need to integrate it. We need to make it like the same process for the planning of the promotional campaigns. It is important to check the efficiency of each and every promotional and compare the aims with the outcomes, considering all the factors that were making the contribution in one of the most important. So generally, we need to make this like comparison between the aims and the outcomes and understand what was wrong. And precise finish of the campaign is as important as the precise beginning. Not to lead to the high level of the overstocks, we need to generally understand how to work with some additional layouts, for example, and some other factor that can influence this factor as well. So I guess it is pretty all from our side. In case of any questions, it will be great to answer them. And for once more time, it is a very interesting topic for us, for our team. We have great experience in this, and we can share some additional information with you if you have some specific questions on your specific processes.
Thank you very much, everyone, for attending our webinar. If you have an interest in this topic, we will be glad to talk into some more details.